Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. Welcome to today's class in our journey to understanding Bhagavad Gita. 18 days we have covered Karma Yoga, 6 days on Karma Yoga. And from Karma Yoga now we are proceeding to the middle part of Bhagavad Gita, that is the most relishable sweet part, that is Bhakti Yoga. It is sandwiched in between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. We know normally the cheese slice or jam or jelly or butter, whatever you put in between two slices of bread, that is the sweetest part. That gives sweetness to both the slices. Similarly, the entire purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to develop bhakti yoga or devotional service to Lord. The main objective of Karma Yoga, the main objective of Jnana Yoga is to become available, to become, aware of devotional service to Lord. So that is the purpose, and this is a wonderful chapter as we will pass through chapter number 7, 9, 10, even 11, and lastly the 12, the Bhakti Yoga. That is one of the most relishable and sweet messages that Lord is giving here. So just a quick recap of chapter 6. What was the name of chapter 6? Anyone could unmute and please answer. No one?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Dhyana Yoga. Chapter number 6 was Dhyana Yoga.
Yeah. And in this chapter, let us have a quick review. Please give others also some chance. Let us review the all chapter numbers 1 to 6 that we have studied. What was the first chapter? Anyone other than the Prabhuji? You can type in
Arjuna
the chat.
Vishada Yoga.
Arjuna Nishad Yoga. That is, thank you, Mataji. And chapter number 2. Chapter number 2. You can type even in the chat box.
Contents of Gita summarized.
Very nice. Third chapter.
Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga. Thank you, Mataji. Fourth chapter. After Karma, he gave Gyan. So Gyan Yoga. And fifth chapter.
Karma Yoga, action.
Again, Karma Yoga. Action in inaction or action in Krishna consciousness. And the last, as Prabhuji said, was Dhyan Yoga. So in Dhyan Yoga, we studied. Can anybody, remember what some important or salient points we studied in chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga? We studied Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs of meditation, right? So 8 limbs, what were those 8 limbs?
Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. And what about, there was a analogy of elevator and the staircase. What was that analogy?
Prabhuji, by taking the elevator, our journey will be fast and it will be smooth. However, by taking the stairs, the journey will be difficult and it will take more time.
Thank you, Prabhuji. But what does it represent? What does it symbolize, Prabhuji?
It symbolizes our path to God realization, Prabhuji.
Yes, very nice. It is basically defines the different hierarchy, the hierarchy of yoga system. First was Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, and supreme to all these yoga was the Bhakti Yoga. This is what Lord said. And then we also learned about demigods. Purpose of all yoga was rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna. That was the purpose. Then, in fact, knowledge or jnana is an individual perception. One can choose to worship demigods, one can choose to worship Krishna. So that was what we learned. And also Lord said that those people who worship demigods, they are alpmedas, people of low intelligence. So because why they worship demigods? Because the boons or the benefits or benedictions granted by demigods are quick and they get pleased very easily. And also, but the problem is that the boons or benefits they grant demigods, those are limited and temporary. Why they are limited? because they cannot grant liberation from the cycle of, or the bondage from the cycle of birth and death. Their bones are limited. And in the heart of Devatas also, or Devi Devatas or demigods, super soul, as a super soul, Lord Krishna is seated there. And he grants that boon or benefit to ultimately demigod, and demigod then permit or pass on it to the devotee. So demigod worship was not very much encouraged there. And the last verse in the 6th chapter was 6.47 was Yogi Nam Mapi Ap Sarvesham Mat Gatita Nantar Atmana. And he says that of the yogis, one who is great faith in me, who is always thinking of me, who is rendering loving service unto me, he is in yoga, he is very much intimately connected or united with me, and he is highest of the all yogi. So this last verse of chapter 6, that 6.47, that sets the scene for Lord's message regarding Bhakti Yoga. So indication in 6.47 was the devotional service or Bhakti Yoga is the highest of all yoga, whether it is Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Because Karma and Jnana Yoga are the passages that lead ultimately to final destination, that is a devotional service or Bhakti Yoga. But now the question is how to attain this Bhakti Yoga or devotional service of Lord. So Lord says in this chapter number 7, that is the beginning of this chapter, that Lord will now elaborate upon how to attain Bhakti Yoga. So just a minute, let me make it full screen. So this is a summary. I will not repeat. Advancing in Ashtanga Yoga, stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice, as Prabhuji just now mentioned. And Prabhuji, Lord also talked about mind. Mind is our friend or enemy. So unbridled or uncontrolled mind is our worst enemy. And a person can't be both a friend or a foe, or a friend or as well as enemy. So that was the conclusion, that mind is, if uncontrolled, it is the worst enemy. The destination of unsuccessful yogi, Lord told that one who is a transcendentalist but fails on account of some or other reason in this life, then he gets a birth in the family of transcendentalist, or in the family of a Vaishnava, where the family is rich. So they get all opportunities to advance their journey from the point where they left in the previous birth. I think we will remember the story of Jad Bharat. He had 3 births, and he remembered what he had done in previous 2 births, in the last verse, and that is why he did not utter a single word after his birth. People considered him to be a dumb and foolish person, but he was very elevated and realized soul, because even the king who was abusing him, oh fool, why you are walking like this and not steadily moving, so that then when he gave that you are calling fool to whom, so the story that Jad Bharat we have already heard, so I will not go into much detail. Then Bhakti Yoga, the topmost yoga, 6.47, Yuktamamo Matah. Lord says that Yogi Nam Api Sarvesham Mad Gate Nantaratmana Shraddhaman Bhaste Yo Mam Same Yukta Tamo Matah. My opinion is those who worship me, who remember me always, who always think of me, and who always render loving devotional service to me, they are the highest of yogi, and they are most lovable to me, or they are very close to me, closely and united to me in the yoga. So let us pray to Shri Shri Radha Govinda, the presiding deities at the temple of ISKCON, Bangalore, and also pay our obeisances to Sri Namnis Das Prabhuji, by whose mercy and kindness we are here on this platform of studying Bhagavad Gita or listening to the message of Lord Sri Krishna. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadestarne Deyo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakt Vrinda, He Krishna Karna Sindhu, Deen Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesh Gopika Kanta, Shri Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapti Kanchan Gaurangi, Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrashbhanusute Devi, Pranamami Hari Piye, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome devotees. Now, so we'll continue with chapter number 7, Gyan Vigyan Yog, or knowledge of the absolute. Would anybody like to recite the shlokas?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Yeah, please, Mataji, continue.
श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञायसि तत् शृणु. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Lord says now that, now hear, O son of Pratha Arjun, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Now, the first important word here is Tat Shunu. Tat means that now you hear from me. So many chapters Lord has addressed like this. Now hear from me. Now listen what I am telling, or something such address to Arjuna has been given. So that is most significant part. Who is telling here? Lord Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the topmost Guru of all Gurus. He is the topmost bona fide spiritual master, because he is not directly communicating his message to. So whatever the point of importance here is that whatever we should listen only from authorized source, or a person who is from disciplic succession. As this point is very, very important, because the Guru is Tattvadarshi. He has seen the truth. He narrates the truth as he has received from his superior spiritual master. So these days we have got a lot of preachers who are professional preachers. Now these people are preaching for the sake of earning their livelihood. Basically, they are not conveying the message because there is a selfish purpose involved in them. So now here, O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full. Now, so this is a first stage of devotional service. Thinking of God, always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, and always doing everything for Krishna. That is the first stage. Now, the importance of hearing. Prahlad Maharaj has also mentioned Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Ismaranam Pad Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So first stage is Shravanam. Shravanam is very, very important. And Shravanam from whom? Authentic source. So this is, now I think all of you must be knowing the examples of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Ismaranam, Pad Sevanam, then Archanam Vandanam, and Archanam Vandanam, Dasyam Sakhyam, and Atma Nivedanam. Arjun and Parikshit Maharaj, they are perfect examples of Shravanam. Thereafter, Shravanam Kirtanam. Narad Muni and Shukdev Maharaj, they are always thinking of God. They are always doing Kirtan of Lord. Then Vishnu Ismaranam, Prahlad Maharaj. Then Pad Sevanam, Lakshmi Dev Ma. And then Prathu Maharaj, Archanam. Vandanam, Prathu Maharaj, and then Vardhanam is Akrur Maharaj. Thereafter, Dasyam, Hanumanji is the example of Dasyam Bhav, because he was always sitting at the lotus feet of Lord Ram. And thereafter, again, Dasyam Sakhyam, Arjun is the friend of Krishna, so he is a Sakhyam in a Sakhyam Bhav. And we know that in chapter 1, he was talking with the Sakhyam Bhav, but the mellow or relationship between Arjuna and Krishna changed in the second chapter when he surrendered, accepted Krishna as a Guru. So that becomes a Dasyam Bhav thereafter, spiritual master and disciple relationship that changed into. And last is this Atma Nivedanam. Nivedana means when all senses of individual are involved in the pure devotional service of Lord. And this Ambrish Maharaj was a great elevated soul and a great Maharaja. But he used to do all kind of services: washing, sweeping, decorating, preparing garden, preparing prasadam. So he used to engage all his senses in the service of Lord. So Lord says that Shravanam is most important. In ISKCON also, association of devotees and hearing from Lord, hearing from pure devotees, that is the first way of attaining some knowledge. Now in second verse, Lord says, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, by knowing which there shall remain nothing further to know. Two terms have been used here, phenomenal knowledge and the other is numinous knowledge. Now you see, when I'll explain these English words by certain example. Phenomenal knowledge is something which is perceived by our senses without deep inquiry. Now we can see that from a distance we can see this is a laptop, right? So this is a phenomenal knowledge. Now if we go near the laptop and we read the make, the model, and also the specification, that is, we attain deeper knowledge of the laptop, then it becomes numinous knowledge. So here numinous knowledge is related to supreme knowledge, supreme spiritual knowledge, that is the highest kind of knowledge and which is beyond the perception of normal senses. So normal senses can give only phenomenal knowledge, and numinous knowledge is superior to our material senses, and it is highest spiritual knowledge which Lord Krishna is now going to impart. So this is verse number 7.2. Yes, Mataji, 7.3. You can continue reading wherever you find there is a Hare Krishna or
Hare
anybody.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, please continue, Mataji.
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद् यतति सिद्धये यतताम् अपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for reading. So out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. And what is this perfection Lord is talking about? Perfection means attaining the Supreme Lord's devotional service, loving devotional service. Or perfection is going back to the Godhead. That is our real home, where we are part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and by default we are fragmented and have come to this Dukhalaya, or this world is material world is also called as Dukhalaya, the house of miseries. We suffer from three kinds of miseries: Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik. It is called threefold miseries: Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. So Adi Devik, that is caused by natural calamities or by godly persons, demigods. That is, floods, rains, earthquakes, or some kind of drought or fire. These are Adi Devik. Then Adi Bhautik means the miseries caused by other living entities or animals. And third is Adhyatmik. The Adhyatmik misery is related to our own body and mind. So we are suffering from three kinds of miseries. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. So, but we are suffering. We want to still enjoy this material world and satisfy our own sense organs. So we do not want perfection, and perfection is life. Perfection is life. In life is devotional service of Lord. And those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me. That means it is very difficult to know Krishna. The science of Krishna is so deep that even demigods are meditating upon his form and his pastimes and his attributes and also his name, but they are not able to understand. Lord Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Ma Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. Such a Mahatma is so rare to find, one who can understand Krishna. They take many, many births and many, many times they die, Gyanvan Map, and they worship me. Vasudevam Sarvam Iti, the Lord Krishna is all in all. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead that is realized by very, very few person, only very few person. This picture here just shows a, a marathon race. Hundreds and hundreds of people join this race. Few drop out in the middle, then before finishing line, again few drop out. Only one person is able to make to the finishing line, and or maybe a couple of them more. So you can see the karma yogis and jnana yogis, they hardly success in their endeavor to realize Lord Krishna, because they try, but there is a fall down, because karma yoga and jnana yoga are very difficult to pursue in this Kali age, or age of iron. So bhakti yoga is best. And what kind of bhakti? One may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me. Even the yogis and Siddh and other devotees, they also do not understand Krishna's mystery altogether. So that is perfection in life is knowledge of Krishna. Knowledge of Krishna, perfection of life, it can also be defined as that I am body, I am not body, I am soul. Thus, Lord Parma is present in my heart in the form of Paramatma or Super Soul, and I am a fragmented part of Lord Krishna, and I have by default come to this Dukhalaya, and my real home is Goloka Vrindavan, in the shelter of under shelter of Krishna. That is my real home, and I have to go. So this is the perfection of life. Yes, Mataji.
Can I say, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Mataji.
Bhumirapo nalo vayo khammano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakrutirashtadha.
Thank you, Mataji. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Together, these 8 comprise my separated material energy. Now, Lord has got 3 kinds of energy. That is, first is superior energy, second is inferior energy, and the middle one is tatastha energy or marginal energy, right? So out of the external energy, internal energy, and tatastha energy or marginal energy. So out of internal energy, which is Yog Maya, he has created demigods and the spiritual worlds. And out of the external energy or inferior energy, he has created these material universes and all living entities in this universe. And of the marginal energy or tatastha energy or tatastha shakti, he has created human beings or living entities. And devatas also come in this category. Now, I'll tell you why marginal energy. Because superior energy or internal energy or Yog Maya is totally transcendental energy. And this external energy is only totally material energy. Though Lord controls this energy, but he is never under influence of these energies. So marginal energy or tatastha energy, we are there. The other day we were talking about that sometimes we are in a mode of goodness, sometimes we are in a mode of passion, sometimes our mode is dominantly ignorance. And at times 2 modes also predominate, sometimes this also happens. So we are tatastha energy. Sometimes we are in a mode of goodness, we are in a state of transcendence because Paramatma is seated in our heart. So we are virtually divine. And as I mentioned earlier, Lord Krishna or the Super Soul, Bhagavan is Vibhu and we are Anu. We are a small spark. Like, so there is a big fire. And if we take a small spark, it has the same quality of the fire. But qualitatively, it is same. But quantitatively, it is very insignificant or minute. So that is our status. We are marginal energy of Lord. So, and this, there is a bulb. But if there is no current, it will not glow. So there is, for energy, there is a energetic, which is energizing this energy. So Lord, similarly, is basically the source of all energy, but he is not under control of now we are separated energy of Lord, separated tatastha energy. Now, as I'm speaking, So my speech is going out, right? It may be recorded, or it may be somebody might hear it again later on if it is recorded, or if it pervades in the environment. So this energy of speech has separated from me. So this is how we are marginal part of the Tatastha energy of Lord, and we are, in fact, partially qualitatively same as Lord, but we are contaminated by virtue of our mode of material nature. When we come in contact with material nature, we become a Prakriti, our soul becomes contaminated. So energetic energy is there. Now, Lord, this earth, water, fire, air, and ether, these are 5 gross elements. Panch Mahabhut, they are called. Then there are 5 sense organs. Then there are 5 sense objects, and there are 5 organs of action. So these are altogether 20, right? 5 plus 5 plus 5, 5. Or Mahabhut, or gross energy, gross object, or gross energies, or Panch Mahabhut. Thereafter, sense organs, sense objects, and organs of action. So these are 20 altogether. Then mind, intelligence, false ego, they make 23, and everything is composed of 24 elements, and 24 elements, or rather living entities, are composed of 24 elements. 24th element is Mahat Tattva, or unmanifest state of matter. Now, this is the matter, or the unmanifest state of matter is the source of 3 modes of material nature. So Lord says that these 8 are my separated energies, or rather earth, water, they altogether these separated material energies, right? So this is after this verse, Lord, yeah, Mataji, continue. Apareyam itastva anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahavaho yaidam dharyati jagat. Now, besides this inferior nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mind, which are all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. So here, Lord is talking about inferior and superior 2 energies only. But earlier I told you there are 3 Shakti, or potencies of Lord's: internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. So Lord says here in the living entities, so from inferior energy, the material nature is there, or the earth, water, those Panch Mahabhut, and from the superior energy, these living entities are. But they are struggling. Why they are struggling? They are struggling, their soul is struggling for existence, because soul is captivated or kept captive inside the body, and body is suffering. Body is not in a state of blissful state of in a always eternal bliss, Satchitanand state. But soul is Satchitanand. So that is struggling to remain in that mode. Secondly, living entities themselves are also struggling to survive. Why? Because they are always constantly in touch with material object, and based on their material mode of nature, material nature, they are struggling. Sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, sometimes very elated, sometimes very depressed. So this is what is happening to us, that all of us are always in a state of struggling. And now we'll continue with this. So qualitatively, as I mentioned, that we are same as Lord, but quantitatively we are different. But Lord is above all these energies. Though he controls, he is the owner of energy, but he is still away from these energies. So 7.6 Lord says, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is, what is the conqueror of wealth name of Arjuna? We have read this, his name, Dhananjay. He had collected money for sacrifice by Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? So he is called Dhananjay. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Now, this is a beautiful example. We know there is a there is a necklace. A necklace, we can see only pearls. The thread which is binding all these pearls is not visible. normal eyes or for a person who is materially involved. But an intelligent person knows that these pearls are held in place by virtue of a thread. So Lord Krishna is like thread. He is holding all the universes, all the planets in their place. Sun and moon are there. They have so disciplined and they are rising and setting at a fixed time. So this is what Lord is mentioning here, that he is the source, but only intelligent persons can understand my nature or the source of origin. Aham sarvas prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate it matva bhajante mam udabhav samanvita. Lord says that I pervade everything, all the spiritual words, all the material words, they have emanated from me, or I'm the source of all those words. And those who are Buddha Bhav, that is, those who are intelligent, they can understand this thing. Then in next verse, he says, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I'm both its origin and dissolution. He is the cause of origin as well as he is the cause of dissolution. So Lord is giving this knowledge to us so that we can develop faith. When there is faith, there is confidence. When there is confidence, there is no bewilderment or delusion. When there is no delusion or bewilderment, there is person proceeds in the path of rendering devotional service. So this is most important aspect here, that knowledge is very important. Now, Krishna has given so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita. But Srimad Bhagavatam is the book or the scripture which compiles those avatars or incarnations of Lord who have lived the instructions given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So that is how the creation took place. What are his incarnations? Why Krishna appeared in this material world, and what Leela or pastimes did he perform? What are his incarnation or expansions, and where the religion will rest once Krishna leaves at the end of Dwapar Yuga. So this is the difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So Lord, he pervades everything. He pervades small ant. He pervades every smallest living or non-living entity, and he is so powerful that he is holding everything in place. Like the necklace, the thread is holding everything in place. Why don't these planets or universes, they fall down or they collide with each other? Because Lord is there. Though he's seated in his Goloka Vrindavan, he's controlling everything, and everything is moving or revolving in a very disciplic succession. So this picture is again same of three demigods, Vishnu. So now, next verse is these are very important anomalies. Whatever is most beautiful, whatever is most extraordinary, whatever most sublime in this world is Krishna. Now, sorry, we missed this verse. Rasoham. Yes, Mataji, would you like to read? Rasoham apsu kaunteya pravashmi shashi suryoha pranava sarva vedeshu shabd khe paurusham Nashu. He says, O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, and the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in the man. Now, beautifully explained, and this we are going to study more in Vibhuti Yoga, chapter number 14, that the Lord is going to explain all these things in great details. How one can understand Lord Krishna when he comes in contact with the material. The water we drink, that we get some kind of taste, that taste is Krishna. We should remember, we should be reminded of Lord Krishna when we drink water which is tasteful. The light of the sun and moon, they represent the effulgence coming from the Lord Krishna's body, which is lighting those, and which feel either heat on account of sun rays or the cold due to moon rays. The syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, all the mantras in Veda, they start with syllable Om. Can you remember? Can anybody recite some of the mantras which begin with Om? Anyone? This is so simple. What about Gayatri Mantra? Does anybody know?
Om Bhurbhuvat Swaha Om Tatsavituर्वरेण्यं Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat.
So that begins with Om. Any other mantra which begins with Om? You remember?
ओम त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिम पुष्टिवर्धनम उर्वारुकमेव बंधनान् मृत्युर्मोक्षमामृता.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you. Any other?
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.
Thank you, Mata. So beautifully recited all these 3 verses. And whenever we are doing sacrifice, every word, Om Agni Devtaya Namah, Om Sthan Devtaya Namah, Om Kul Devtaya Namah. So Om is the syllable. When we are saying Om, we are remembering Krishna. So because he is Om in Vedic mantras, who is that Om? Krishna is Om. I'm the sound in the ether. Now, ether we know we call Akash or sky. It is made of a material nature, and there are some certain kind of sound vibrations which are already always existing in this ether. And this has been proved by NASA studies that the sound of Om is reverberating in the ether all the time. That what we consider sky as a vacuum is basically there is a sound which is constantly reverberating or present there, and that is nothing but Lord Krishna himself. So then lastly he says ability in man. If I am very good scholar and I am very learned in some say art or painting or drawing, then how come this ability has come into me? Because it is Krishna. A wrestler who is very strong physically, can fight, can defeat all his opponents. The ability is Krishna. Then ability, a dancer who is a very good dancer, how come this ability others do not possess? Because that finest quality is of dancing, that the finest art which one person has learned is Krishna himself. And as I mentioned, what is all most sublime, what is transcendental, what is most extraordinary, what is most beautiful, all that is Krishna. So now in the next verse, the next table you can see 7.8 to 11, what and of what among whom? Taste in the water, Krishna. Light in the moon and sun, Krishna. Om in Vedic mantras, sound of the ether, ability of man, fragrance of earth. When there is rains, first rain in the rainy season, then we get a very peculiar smell when the soil is wet. So that fragrance of earth is Krishna. Heat of the fire is Krishna. Life all that lives is Krishna. Penance of all ascetics is Krishna. Original seed, all existence. Original seed, he is Bij Prata. Means without seed, we cannot have anything. Neither human beings, not ants or birds or animals, or even the plants and trees. So intelligence of the intelligent person is Krishna. Prowess of all powerful man or strength is Krishna. Strength of the strongest person is Krishna. And then sex life, not contrary to religious principle, is also Krishna. So these are 14 virtues which are mentioned. But when we go to chapter number 14, chapter number rather 17, and then also in Charitamrita, lot of these vibhutis of Lord have been explained in great detail. So in 7.12, Lord Krishna says that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature. So we know there are 3 modes of material nature, Sat, Raj, and Tam, or mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Lord says that he is the controller of all these senses. Lord is at the supreme position. Now he is controlling the 3 modes of material nature. Now, based on 3 modes of material nature, a living entity, when he comes in contact or his soul comes in contact with material nature, he acquires certain mode, and that may be goodness or maybe passion or maybe ignorance. So, but Lord says that, but I control, I am the owner and controller of all 3 modes of material, but I am independent. The modes do not touch me. They are beyond my touch, beyond my reach, rather beyond my, I mean, they are beyond, they are not capable of touching me, or I don't get limpati. This you can see Lord Krishna is here, and this is mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Different colors are shown. This is white, and this is black, and this is red, and this is black. And we are living entities like puppets. We are forced to. In fact, you will remember in chapter number 3, we read that Aniksham and Balad, forcefully, without willing, without any desire to do so, we are forced to act in certain circumstances because of the influence of three modes of material nature. So we are a puppet in the hand of, and these three modes are puppet in the hand of Lord Krishna, because he is the controller, originator, and also origin, or also the creator of these three modes of material nature. Then he is independent. He's not. And he says, deluded by the three modes of material nature, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. He is inexhaustible. Abhyayam. He never lasts there. We as living entities are subject to many changes. We are subject to Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. That we take birth, we die, we get old, and Vyadhi, we suffer from diseases. And human beings, pass through 6 stages. We learned that in 2nd chapter. Does anybody remember what are those 6 stages through which living entities pass?
Kaumaram, Yauvanai Jara.
That is also nice, Mataji, but there is something different. We take birth in a womb as an embryo, right? Then we grow. After growth, we stagnate for a certain time. After stagnation, we give some effects, give rise to some kind of effects, or we do reproduction. And then we get, diseased, old, and ultimately we die. So these are 6 stages through which all living entities are passing. But Krishna's body is transcendental. It is not made of any material or these Panch Mahabhut or those 24 elements. So it does not undergo any change. So there is birth, there is growth, stagnation, some effects in the form of offsprings are produced, then starts dwindling. Dwindling means when we reach old age, then all the capacities or abilities decrease, in fact, and thereafter we vanquish, we vanish from this planet. So these are 6 stages through which with the 6 changes which we undergo. Now, Krishna is fully independent. He's just now said, I'm independent. I'm not under mode of material nature. Srila Prabhupada has given a beautiful example of a king when he goes to visit a prison. So the other prisoners who are inside the prison, they feel a new prisoner has come. But is king a prisoner in the prison? He is not a prisoner. He is the owner of that prison. He is the master of that prison. So he is not affected by the rules of prisons. Whereas all the prisoners who are inside jail or prison, they are affected by the rules of the prison. Then in 7.13, he again said, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes of injustice. Why we do not know? Because we are puppets in the hands of 3 modes of material nature. So, and there is phasic variation in our mode of material nature. As Prabhuji was mentioning yesterday, then in morning we are in the mode of goodness, Brahmurti. We are not in touch with material objects. In the daytime, we are in mode of passion, rushing to office, earning, doing so many activities which are basically fruitive activities. And in the night, we are in the mode of ignorance, indolent, sleepy, lethargic, and we want to entertain ourselves. So that is the how phasic variation of but Krishna is above all these things.
Prabhuji, one query. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just the last line in 7.12, wherein he says that I am not under the modes of the material nature.
Yes.
So you had defined just now that the material nature, it's primarily referring to the 3 gunas, right? Satya,
Yes.
Raja, and Tama.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if let's say that we are talking about the sat gun, so at the same time, some At the same time, when we define the Supreme Consciousness, in that we say one of the features of the Supreme Consciousness is Sat Chit Anand.
Yeah.
So in that, what about this Sat, which we are talking about in Sat Chit Anand? Is it not a feature of the Supreme Consciousness?
Prabhuji, there is some kind of confusion. What we are actually meaning by Supreme Consciousness?
Krishna.
Then you may call him state of Bhagwan feature. You know, we mentioned about 3 stages of God realization. First is a person sees out of his window, there are sun rays, there is day, and there are sun rays are there, right? Brightness is there. So the impersonalists believe that there is only Brahman effulgence. Their God realization level is limited to Brahman effulgence only. They do not want to know that Krishna, that this effulgence is coming from some source, and what that source is Krishna. This effulgence is coming from the transcendental body of Lord Krishna. Second realization, Ashtanga yogi or yogis, they know their God realization is limited to the Paramatma feature of God realization only. That is super soul only, right? So they believe, yes, there is a supreme power in the form of super soul, but they do not believe that God has a form. A devotee knows, who is in Bhakti Yoga, he knows that God has a form, he has a name, he has pastimes, he has some qualities. You know, Krishna is physically present in the battlefield. Now, how can you deny that Lord does not have a form? So, Bhagwan feature of God realization is the supreme. Now, Bhagwan is Sat Chit Anand, as you said. He is eternal.
So, Prabhuji, this Sat Chit Anand feature.
Let me finish, Prabhuji.
This Sat Chit Anand feature is of which entity then, Prabhuji?
Just a minute, Prabhuji. This is what I am explaining. Now, the Bhagwan feature of realization or God realization is the complete realization which a Bhakta only knows. No yogi, no Brahmavadi or impersonalist or no yogi. They cannot understand this feature because Lord's body is transcendental. And it is Sat Chit Anand. It is eternal. Sat means eternal. Chit means it is full of knowledge. Anand, it is full of bliss. So it is not affected by any kind of material because a creator cannot be under the influence of his creation. Lord Krishna has created 3 modes of material nature. He is the controller of 3 modes of material nature. They act under his guidance, right? So he is Satchitanand. That is why Lord says, I am not under the mode of material nature, but we are under mode of material nature. Why? Because we have a contaminated soul. The individual has got some intense propensities, has unfulfilled desires, has done certain karma. Lord Krishna in the last chapter also mentioned that no karma lipyante, that is no action, what I perform affects me or binds me in any manner. I'm above that karma because why Lord performs karma? Why he did all kind of pastimes? Just to set an example, just to so that the common man, they can understand and they can follow his path. You know that Mahajanin in Gata Sapantha. That is why Yad Yad Acharet Shreshtas. That means his path is always eternal. He acts, but he does not act. That is what we heard in the last chapter. Action in inaction. We do activities, all spiritual and material activities, but they don't bind us because they are a karma. They are referred to Lord Krishna as our efforts or our part of our devotional service to Lord Krishna. Is it okay? Am I clear, Prabhuji?
Yes. It's very deep connotation actually.
Yes,
it will take some more time to comprehend fully.
Prabhuji. Now the sun rays, sun disk, and sun god. Sun god is Bhagwan, feature of realization. Sun disk is Paramatma, feature of realization. This is from Shastras. I'm not telling anything from my own side. And the Brahman level realization is only those impersonalists of Brahmavadi who says, "Go Lord," they want to merge into. And where is the relationship? If you merge into some kind of thing, can there be any relationship? But relationship can be established by only devotees because they will decorate deities, they will prepare prasadam, garlands, clean the temple, decorate the temple, put ornaments, because there is a loving relationship. This mellow or relationship is that of bhakta or devotee. So devotional service, Lord is Satchitanand. His body is not, he was, as I told you, he was 89 years when he was present in the battlefield. And he was looking like a young person of 16 years only. And one more thing interesting, sometimes devotees ask how much prasad should be offered to Lord. When we cook and before consuming, we want to offer it to Lord. So what is the appetite of a 16-year-old person? That should be the quantity that we should offer before deities, before consuming ourselves as prasadam. Just a side talk. Anyway, we'll proceed because we are still in the middle, not even middle. So now Lord says, now after this, that I am beyond the three modes of material nature, Lord now says, Devi hi isha gurvai mam maya duratya mave ve prapadyanti mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. Now, Balad and you see, we Aniksha and Balad, these words we heard in last classes. Balad means forcefully we are forced to act in certain mode of material nature. We don't want sometimes, but still. We don't want to take second rasgulla because I am diabetic, but still the sense organ wants to come in contact with sense object and wants to satisfy that desire. So Lord says that this divine energy of mind, that is three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Mame ve prapadanti, those who have surrendered unto me and worship me, mayam etam tarantite, they can easily cross this three modes of material nature. So what is the message here? Surrender to Krishna. Yes, now just this picture I'm not going to explain. It's a very simple analogy. You can see here, there is a person, he's an expert swimmer, but there is a storm in the ocean. Now he's about to drown. So he is an expert, swimmer. Can he retrieve himself or rescue himself from this tumultuous condition or ocean which is so much disturbed? No, he needs a person who can retrieve him out of this trouble. Similarly, we are under the influence of three modes of material nature, and we are defending all the time, or rather we are struggling all the time against these three modes of material. Only Krishna Bhakti or Krishna Prem can relieve us, or surrender to Lord Krishna can save us from this tumultuous condition or this stormy ocean of the world. Na mam duskritino mura prapadyante naradhama maya apharat jnana asuram bhavam ashita. Now, Lord is telling now in earlier verse, surrender to me. Now he's telling you who can surrender and who does not surrender to Lord Krishna. Na mam duskritino. Now, duskritino means miscreants. Those persons who do not believe in God, they are atheist, or they are envious of Lord. They don't worship him at all. They don't recognize him. So there are four categories of such miscreants. First is grossly foolish. These are called mura. These are called grossly foolish. Then second is naradham, the lowest of the among the mankind. And then maya apharat jnana, those whose intelligence has been stolen by illusion. So these are maya apharat jnana. And fourth category who do not surrender are asuram bhav ashita, those who have demoniac nature. They do not want to surrender. Now I'll take up examples. These are examples are given here. Now, so is this okay? There are four categories who do not surrender to Krishna, and they want to remain entangled in three modes of material nature and this material world. So Mudha, this is a ass, he is carrying so big load. Why? Because the master has done tied a tuft of grass before him, and mouth is closed. Mouth is locked by this kind of cap. So he is looking at this grass, and in the hope that he is going to eat it, he keeps on carrying this burden. Now, but he knows that if he's not working, he can get grass anywhere, of course. But he is a Mura. He is a grossly foolish, like donkey. So these people also do not surrender. Second is Naradhama. Does anybody know what is this story about, this pastime? On right top. Now, these are Jagai Mathai. This is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita in very great details. So they were the top category sinners, all kind of vices. Even Yamraj used to protect citizens by coming in contact with these people. They were all kind of vices: robbery, murder, dacoity, and innumerable kind you can imagine, always drunk. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he sent Nityananda Prabhu to go and spread Krishna consciousness and talk to the lowest of the fallen souls so that they can be elevated by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now Nityananda Prabhu, who is in blue dress here, he goes, but these people, he tells them that stop all these things and give up all these bad habits, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They were so drunk, they picked up a pot and struck on the face of Nityananda Mahaprabhu. He started bleeding. Thus, news of this assault went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and immediately he rushed to this spot, and he was so annoyed and angry by this act of this Jagai and Mathai. They were brothers, in fact, that he started taking out his Sudarshan Chakra and wanted to kill them. But Nityananda Prabhu is a Karuna embodied. He is so merciful. He is praised to Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please, you are Karuna avatar. You have not come to kill. You have come to salvage the fallen souls of this world. So he agrees finally, and he asks these both Jagai and Mathai to surrender and chant. Ultimately, they agree. So they are Naradhama. They are the lowest of human mankind. They could not, somebody is talking such a nice thing that chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, give up these drugs and women and all those kind of things. And they struck him. And third is Maya Aparat Jnana. Maya Aparat Jnana means Maya, the illusion, has stolen their intelligence. Who are these people? Now, scientists, philosophers, and such people, mental speculators, they are intelligent persons, but illusion, they do not believe in God. So Maya, the illusion, has stolen their intelligence, and they use their energy and intelligence in a diversified manner, not worshipping Supreme Personality of Godhead, or not realizing that there is a God. Even they deny. So they never worship. And fourth is Maya Aparat Jnanam and Asuri Bhavam Ashita. This is a picture of Ravan. Ravan, you see, Ravan used to worship Lord Shiva so much, and he had attained so much of perfection that a day he was going to build a staircase direct leading to the heavens, and he wanted to enjoy heaven without gods even. So he was so powerful. But he was a demonic nature. He knows that there is a soul, super soul. Everybody knows that there is a soul, super soul, and nobody can go with this material body to heavens. But he was, because of demonic nature, he was attempting this something which was so. These are four categories of miscreants or dushkritans who do not surrender to God. First is Mudha, grossly foolish. Second is Naradhama, who are the lowest of human mankind. Third is Maya Aparat Jnanam, philosophers and scientists and other mental speculators who do not believe there is a God. And last category is Asuri Bhavam Ashita. He is dependent on his demonic nature and he doesn't want to surrender. At the same time, Lord is now here telling, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto artharthi, arto jigyasur artharthi jnani cha bharatar shabha. So, O best among the Bharatas or Arjun, four kinds of pious men render. So they were Duskritnas or miscreants. These are five pious men who render devotional service unto me, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So can anybody give the examples of these four categories who want to serve Lord Krishna? Arth, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani. There are four categories who surrender to Lord. Arth. Arth means distressed. Right? So who was distressed? What about this Draupadi? And what about Gajendra? I think all of devotees know the story of Draupadi. She was distressed. Am I audible?
Draupadi Vastraharan.
Yeah, Vastraharan. She was so much distressed. Initially, she relied upon her own self. She wanted to protect himself. Then ultimately, she was so distressed that she remembered Krishna, and Krishna instantly came, and nobody could disrobe her. What about Gajendra's story? Gajendra Moksha story, I think some of you may be knowing. There was a fight between Gajendra and the crocodile, and this crocodile caught hold of the foot of Gajendra. Crocodile is a water animal, so remaining in water got strength and strength, and for thousands of years its struggle was going. Elephant is a surface animal. Now, when in water, his strength diminished, and his resistance put resistance to his best for thousands of years, and ultimately when he picked up a small lotus flower and remembered Lord Vishnu, immediately he was given liberation, and he was the crocodile. He was free from the clutches of crocodile. So Arth means distressed person. We are in, whenever we are in trouble, we start remembering Krishna only. We are at that stage Arth, but that is for a purpose. We do not have a real, worshipful feeling for Lord at that moment, because we are selfish. We remember Krishna only when we are in Arth or distress state. The second stage is distress, desire of wealth. What about Dhruv Maharaj? Dhruv Maharaj wanted to a kingdom bigger than not only his father, bigger than Lord Brahma himself. So he was desirous of a wealth. So he also remembered Dhruva, he started so much of prayers. Then Narad Muni came and he said, what you are asking for? You are asking for a piece of glass, and there is a diamond which is waiting for you. And then he gave the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is what he, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Bhagavate. This is mantra which Lord Narad Muni gave, and then he started praying, and then ultimately he got liberation. So desire of Arth, Artharthi, Jigyasu. Who were the Jigyasu? You remember the story of Sut Maharaj, Naimisharan Tirth, where Sankadik and 88,000 of rishis has gathered to listen from Sut Maharaj, Sudevji, the story of Srimad Bhagavatam. So they were Jigyasu, they were inquisitive. Parikshit Maharaj were also inquisitive, because he also went to Sukhdev Goswami Maharaj to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam in those 7 days when he was cursed to die after bite of a snake. And last category is Jnani, searching for knowledge of the Absolute. In this category, Parikshit Maharaj also comes again, because he was a very, very elevated soul. He was a very Jnani person. He could have counteracted the curse given by the Shangi, who was a son of the Rishi Shamik. So these four persons remember God, whether they are Arth, that is, they are distressed, Artharthi, when they are desirous of some kind of wealth or opulences. Then Jigyasu, those who are who want to know some thing about Lord Krishna or Lord God, and who want to know attain some transcendental knowledge. And ultimately the Jnani, they are already well established in transcendence, but still, like Parikshit Maharaj, he also wanted to learn that knowledge. So these are the pictures you can see of miscreants and Chaturvidha Bhajantemam. This is how four category of persons. Now Gajendra picture is given here. You can see that crocodile in the Gajendra. Ultimately, Lord Vishnu came, he picked up a flower. And this is the court of Dhritarashtra, where Draupadi Maharani is being disrobed. And this is the picture of He is none other than Vyasdev Maharaj. And Vyasdev Maharaj, you know the story of that parrot went through the mouth of Nikita Devi, the wife of Vyasdev Maharaj, and Lord Vyasdev Maharaj was telling the story of Bhagavad Katha or Amar Katha. And when he heard in the womb this, he heard in the Sukdev Goswami was the son actually. He heard in her womb the entire story of Srimad Bhagavatam, and after hearing that Srimad Bhagavatam, he didn't want to come out of the womb of his mother. For 13 years he stayed in the womb of mother, and when Lord Krishna himself came, and then only he came out, because he was, by that time he was a mature, elevated and purely pious soul. So this is how he was a Jnani already when he came out. Then you can see on the picture, the Parikshit Maharaj is sitting, Sukdev Goswami is giving the message. And in this, even the Vyasdev, Narad Muni, you can see Narad Muni sitting. All the sages, big sages, all had come to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukdev Goswami. And here you can see Dhruv Maharaj, and here you can see the Lord Rama making friendship with Sugriva, because Bali has stolen his kingdom. And Sugriva, there was a pact between the two, Lord Ram and Sugriva, that Sugriva had said that once you made friendship with me and a pact with me, I will help you in defeating the Ravan, number one, and I will also seek your help in defeating Bali, so that my kingdom can be returned to me. So these are some of the pictures which are detailing Sukritinos, or the pious people who always surrender to Lord. Then Lord now says, we have heard about miscreants, Duskritinas and Sukritinas, the persons who don't want to surrender, the person who want to surrender, the four category of each. Now Lord says, who is most dear to me? One who is Jnani is most dear to me. Of these, the wise one who is in full knowledge of, in union with me through pure devotional service, is the best. And what is pure devotional service in this Kali Yuga? The chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because we are not qualified for any other kind of form of worship in this age. So Lord's commandment is that one who is Jnani, one who has attained knowledge, as in full knowledge of me, renders pure devotional service to me, is dearest to me. He is very close to me also. Then in verse number 19, he says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Mataji, you would like to read?
Can I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Bahunai janmanamante jnanavan mam prapaddate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha.
Thank you, Mataji. After many births and deaths, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many births and many deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Jnanvan, one person who is Mam Prapadyanti, that means he surrenders to me. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Lord Krishna is the cause of all causes, and all that is and that be in future. Such a good soul is very rare, because it is very difficult to understand Krishna. Krishna's science is so difficult. Even the greatest of men, greatest of knowledgeable persons, sages, they could not understand Krishna. So why should we waste our time in trying to understand Krishna or science of Krishna? Let us just surrender and do worship, and worship in the form of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is what Lord is saying here. He God feature realization, or as Prabhuji was discussing now, the highest form of realization is Bhagwan form of realization. That Lord has a name. Lord is a person. He has a name. He has a quality. He has pastimes, and he has got all kind of activities which he is performing. Name, form, attributes or qualities, and lastly pastimes. And Krishna is, you go to Vrindavan, Mathura or Dwarika, lot of pastimes. The places are marked. This is where this Lord Krishna did this thing. Kalia, Mardhan, Govardhan, Rakshan, all these places are. So God is a person. Why impersonalists or Brahmavadis do not believe that he is a consciousness only? He is supreme consciousness. He is only effulgence. No. God is a person. And the biggest evidence is before us that he is standing there in the chariot with Arjuna giving his message. So, Bahunam Janman, this is a very beautiful shloka. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. And when he was saying, Lord Krishna himself is saying, Gyan Van Vam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam iti. Some Mahatma Sudurlava. Such person is very, very rare who can know that God is, Krishna is everything. Now 7.20, he says, those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of the worship according to their own natures. Now nature means material nature. We are in mode of ignorance, we are in mode of passion, or we are in mode of goodness. Based on that, we choose our demigod and we worship. Why we worship demigod? Because they are easily pleased. They give us boons or benefits, and which are temporary and limited, because those demigods also have to seek permission from Supreme Personality of Godhead to award those boons to the devotee. So those whose minds are distorted by material desires, that means we worship demigods. There are demigods, for everything, for education, for knowledge, for wealth, for rains, for getting good health or good husband. So there are demigods we pay because we have a material desire in our heart. Then Lord says, I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship the demigods, I make his faith steady. So Lord does not interfere. If somebody wants to worship demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Mother Parvati, Lakshmi, Ganesh, or anyone, any demigod, or Shiva, Chandra, or sun god, I make his faith steady. God supports it so that he can devote himself to some particular deity, right? So that we can have faith in Lord Shiva or anybody. Lord gives us strength. He accepts our conviction or our faith and he makes it strong. Why? Because ultimately, when you worship a demigod, ultimately a day will come in your devotional service that you will desire to worship Lord Krishna directly. Why to worship demigod directly when you can worship Lord Krishna directly? So this is what is mentioned here. These people are called Alpamedasa. We are not having the Sanskrit shloka here. They are called people of low intelligence. So you can see in this picture, I will very quickly, in the last picture, bottom, this is night, this is moon over here, it's all dark, and there is a tree. Some people are moving about, they are doing some kind of black magic here, practicing some kind of. And this, you can see there is an influential person and people are going down before him. So this is hero worship, you can call it. These days, some religious leaders, some political leaders, they have, or even the film stars or the cricketers, they become hero and people start worshipping them. They build their temples even. So then third category is, you can see a devotee is worshipping Lord Shiva, and fourth category is devotee is worshipping Vishnu, who is none other than Krishna's incarnation. So it depends what we are. So God does not interfere. He does not force. Even for impersonalists or Brahmavadi, he does not interfere in their worship. If they want to worship and merge into the Brahman effulgence without rendering any devotional service, God supports it. So this is about demigod worship. Then endowed with such a faith, he seeks favors for a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed upon by me alone. That means if you are worshipping Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesh, or Lord Lakshmi, or Saraswati, then God makes your faith strong in that worship, and whatever benefits or boons or benediction you receive from that demigod, that is also granted by Lord Krishna himself. In 7.23, he says, men of small intelligence, Alpamedas, this is the word I used, worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Why limited and temporary? Because they can't grant liberation from this world of misery to an individual living entity. They can't give liberation. So they themselves are in fact mortals. They also have got super soul in their heart. That is, Krishna is present in their heart also. So whatever boons or benedictions the demigods grant, they are limited and temporary. Those who worship Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So it is a choice for devotees where we want to go. The planets of demigods or heavenly planets or some Vaikuntha or such Chandralok or Suryalok or Brahmalok. It is our choice. But there is a clause here. We go there, we have a sukratan, so we have some account of good deeds with us which take us to heavenly abodes. Now we enjoy all opulences and all comforts of Devi Devtas there in that loka. But as soon as this account comes to balance, comes to zero, we return to this cycle again and enter into the cycle of birth and death again and again. So, but if we go to Goloka Vrindavan and go to the highest abode of Lord Krishna, then there is no coming back to earth, to coming back to this cycle of birth and death. So, unintelligent men who know me not think that I have assumed this form and personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is changeless and supreme. This is a beautiful statement from Lord, which is changeless. Our body is constantly undergoing changes. We saw that picture, baby is born and till the time of death, what kind of changes body undergoes. So many times our memory changes, our habits changes, our physical structure changes. But Lord Krishna's body is transcendental, Satchit Anand. It does not undergo any kind of change because it is not material. It is not composed of those Panchbhutas and other things. So unintelligent men who know me not, think that I have assumed this form of personality. He does not assume. Whenever Lord Krishna descends or appears on this material planet, he appears in full along with his entire paraphernalia. When he came to Vrindavan, he appeared in Mathura. All his associates also came along with him here to this place. So he does not assume anything because he is always changeless. He remains as he is, divine, fully transcendental always. 7.25 is another good verse. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my external creative potency or Yog Maya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. I am Aj, and I am Achyut. Infallible means he never falls down from his position of transcendence. He is always situated. When he descends from Goloka Vrindavan to this material planet, his all transcendental qualities remain. Now, he is infallible. You know that in battlefield, he was charioteer of Arjuna. So do you think he fell down from his position of being Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead? No. But for the sake of bhakta or devotee, he came down and he worked as a labor. We have seen that picture that he was washing feet of Sudama, a Brahmana. He was a Brahmana. And he was with Balram, he was a plower also. Then Balram was massaging his legs, and then he was also massaging Balram's leg. So he assumes all forms. He was the labor work which he did as a charioteer belongs to the category of Shudra. But do you think Krishna has become Shudra or comes in the category of Shudra by virtue of being a charioteer? No. He says that my external creative potency, by Yog Maya, I appear what unintelligent and foolish people do not know the reality. They take me on the face value of it, and they don't know that I never fall down from my eternal position and I am always unborn. O Arjuna, as Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything. Now, the Lord himself is declaring that I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know of all living entities, but me, no one knows. Now, this is another wonderful verse. Lord, nobody knows Krishna. Now, Arjuna also had a doubt. How come you are my contemporary and you say you millions of 20 million years ago, you told this Bhagavadgita to Vivaswan, the Lord of Sun Lord. So Lord says that I know present, past and future of everybody. Oh, but about me, nobody knows because I am causeless. I am the Adi Purush. I am Ajanma. When nothing existed, it it was only me who existed and who created this spiritual world and material worlds. So when he knows that what has happened in the past, all that is happening in the, if we ask you, what did you eat 7 days back on this particular day? Probably you will not remember, because our memory is so short. We are Sumand Mata. Our memory is short and our memory is slow. We are lazy persons. So Krishna says that I know everything. What has happened, what will happen, and what is happening. I also know of all living entities, but me, no one knows. Krishna is beyond perception of our material senses. He cannot be understood by our material senses. He can be understood only by our surrender and loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. So this is 20 verse 28 is last verse. Yes, Mataji, would you like to read last verse?
In case anybody wants to read, otherwise I will read.
Yeah. Anybody please volunteer and offer, not this is last verse, but one or two verse, maybe more.
Okay. Yeshan tvantagatam papai jananam punykarmanam te dvandvamoha nirmukta bhajante man drudha.
Thank you, Mataji. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Dradvrata. They are firm in their decision or firm in their commitment to serve me. So the persons who can serve me, who can know me, persons who have acted piously in previous lives. You know, we are carrying the burden of many sins, of loads of sins of many previous lives, and we are contaminated soul. So still we don't want to surrender to Lord, or we don't want to do loving devotional service to Lord. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and who are freed from the duality of delusion. They are not worried about the three modes of material nature. They are not deluded. They are not under illusion. Engage themselves in my service with determination. So who serves Krishna? These are the persons who are qualified to serve the Lord Krishna. And last verse says, those who know me as the Supreme Lord, as the governing principle of the material manifestation. He is the governing principle because he has created everything, and the creator has got all rights of his creation. Who know me as the one underlying all the demigods. That is, he is the source of all demigods. When we will talk about it, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the first Purusha avatar was that of Karanakdoshai Vishnu. From his body, the pores, the water drops came out and universe was created. Then next came Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who from the navel of whom a stem of lotus flower came up, sprung up, and at the lotus flower, Brahma was the first living entity who was born. And thereafter, from this lotus, 14 planetary systems came out, and Garbhodakshai Vishnu became the super, so he entered into all the universes and planets. And last is first Karanakdoshai Vishnu, the second is Garbhodakshai, and third is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Now he is the super soul present in the heart of every living entity. So this is how creation took place. And Krishna, so Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the ultimate source of all demigods. And how come this Garbhodakshai Vishnu? Because he is second Purusha avatar of Lord Krishna. So those who know me as the Supreme Lord, as the governing principle of material manifestation, who know me as the one underlying all the demigods, and as the one sustaining all sacrifices, he is a Yajna Purusha, all kinds of sacrifices are enjoyed by Lord Krishna, can with steadfast mind understand and know me that even at the time of death. Even at the time of death, we know at the time of that person is so disturbed, so perturbed and deluded. He's thinking of his wife, his family, his money, his property, his gold, and his opulences, what will happen, and he's crying. His intelligence is completely lost at that time. But Lord says here, those who know me very well, who know me, who know my potencies and energies, and who that they also know that I am the ultimate enjoyer of all sacrifices, or I am the ultimate bhokta. Bhoktaram yagtapsam, we just now heard. So the one who is established his knowledge can remember me even at the time of death, which is the most difficult time to remember God, you know. So this is the sloka which is going to set the stage of next chapter, how to remember Lord Krishna at the time of death, which you know very difficult. And out of his mercy, Lord says that if person is not able to remember, but is a pure devotee of mine, I remember that he is my devotee, and I also take care of this devotee. So this entire Bhakti Yoga is beautiful. Each verse is worth memorizing, and it is a direct message from Lord Krishna, and unadulterated, unaltered, and as it is, which I am trying to produce by mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we come to end of this chapter, and this is a summary. I'm not going to, because already the time is too much. So I will just end here. So we can have questions tomorrow because time is already too much. I'm sorry for overstepping, but the topic is such that you can't miss and want to miss anything. Hare Krishna devotees, Prabhuji Mataji, thank you for your association. Vancha kalpataru bhishya kripa sindhuva evcha patita nam pavne bhu vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Srimad ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavadgita ki jai. All glory
Krishna,
to the devotees. Hare Krishna Prabhuji
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji, for the association. So thank you very much. So we meet. Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, my daughter wanted to tell Hare Krishna to you.
Hare, thank you, thank you. Send my love to her also. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.